Welcome to the Digital Intellect, bringing you the latest news from around the world. The Philippine government has accepted a landmark infrastructure investment proposal from China, signaling a major shift in its foreign and economic policy. The multi-billion-dollar agreement aims to modernize the country's aging infrastructure, offering a potential leap forward after years of stalled progress. This move marks a strategic pivot toward Beijing, as Manila seeks to balance development needs with complex geopolitical realities. The deal is framed as a once-in-a-generation opportunity, promising rapid improvements in public services and daily life for millions. With traditional sources of aid dwindling, China's offer arrives at a critical moment, positioning itself as a reliable partner for growth. The administration argues that national interest must come before old alliances, embracing economic pragmatism over historical loyalties. Yet this partnership is more than just about roads and bridges. It's a test of China's ambitions and America's influence in the region. As the ink dries, the region watches closely. Will this bold gamble bring prosperity, or entangle the Philippines in new dependencies? The government's decision will be scrutinized for years, shaping not just the nation's future, but the balance of power in Southeast Asia. The Philippines now stands at a crossroads, its next step set to redefine its place between the world's superpowers. The Philippines' infrastructure crisis is felt in daily gridlock, crumbling roads, and isolated rural communities. Chronic underinvestment has left cities like Manila paralyzed by traffic, while remote islands remain cut off from opportunity. This bottleneck stifles economic growth, deepens inequality, and keeps millions from accessing basic services. Ports and airports are outdated, limiting trade and tourism, and making Philippine products less competitive globally. Past initiatives like Build have faltered due to bureaucracy and lack of funds. The scale of investment needed far exceeds what the government can provide alone. China's proposal is seen as a game changer, a chance to finally bridge the infrastructure gap holding the country back. Quick, large-scale financing and construction could transform daily life and unlock economic potential. For a nation weary of waiting, the promise of real progress is both urgent and irresistible. The Chinese deal offers a lifeline but also raises the stakes for the country's future. China's Belt and Road Initiative is at the heart of its proposal, a sweeping vision to connect continents through infrastructure. For the Philippines, this means access to capital, technology, and expertise on an unprecedented scale. The deal includes new railways, modernized ports, expanded airports, and digital networks, targeting the country's most critical bottlenecks. Projects like the Mindanao Railway and new bridges promise to unite regions and boost trade. China pledges not just construction but knowledge transfer, training Filipino engineers and workers for the future. The economic logic is clear. Better infrastructure lowers costs, creates jobs, and attracts investment. For ordinary Filipinos, it means faster commutes, better connectivity, and new opportunities. The government sells this as a golden ticket to modernization, a future where prosperity is within reach. But the scale and speed of change bring their own challenges. The most immediate benefit is jobs. Tens of thousands of Filipinos will find work building railways, bridges, and ports. This surge in employment could boost local economies and encourage skilled workers to return home. Long-term modern infrastructure will cut transport costs, making Philippine goods more competitive and attracting foreign investment. New roads and bridges will connect isolated regions, spreading growth beyond the major cities. Tourism and local industries could flourish in areas once left behind. The deal also promises technology transfer, giving Filipino professionals hands-on experience with advanced construction. Over time, this could build a stronger, more self-reliant domestic industry. The government sees this as a tool for inclusive growth, aiming to reduce poverty and regional inequality. If managed well, the skills and technology gained could be a lasting legacy for the nation. Despite the promises, critics warn of a looming debt trap. Borrowing billions from China could saddle the Philippines with unsustainable obligations. Chinese loans often come with high interest rates and opaque terms, raising fears of a future debt crisis. The Sri Lanka example looms large. Unable to repay Chinese loans, it lost control of a strategic port for 99 years. Opponents fear the Philippines could face similar losses of sovereignty if it defaults. Environmental and social risks are also significant. Large projects can displace communities and damage ecosystems. Transparency is a major concern, with secretive contracts fueling fears of corruption and cronyism. Critics question whether promised jobs will materialize or if Chinese firms will dominate skilled positions. the lack of public scrutiny raises doubts about who truly benefits from the deal. The nation must weigh the risks of debt, dependency, and lost control against the lure of rapid development. Embracing Chinese investment forces the Philippines into a delicate balancing act between its longtime ally, the US, and its new economic partner, China. For decades, the US alliance provided security, but now Manila is testing the limits of that relationship by pivoting toward Beijing. The government hopes to reap economic rewards from China while maintaining American security guarantees, a risky tightrope. Washington views China's growing influence with suspicion, fearing a challenge to its dominance in the Pacific. Some Chinese-backed projects like ports and telecoms have dual-use potential, raising alarms about security and sovereignty. US military planners worry that Chinese control of strategic assets could compromise their operations in the region. Manila's shift is driven by frustration that the US alliance hasn't delivered transformative economic benefits. The Philippines is signaling it won't sacrifice its economic future for old loyalties, but the risk of alienating both superpowers is real. This pragmatic approach is echoed across Southeast Asia, as smaller nations navigate the US-China rivalry. Diversifying partnerships offers opportunity, but the dangers of miscalculation are immense. The stakes for the Philippines and the region have never been higher. The China deal has split Philippine society. Some see it as a long-awaited path to progress, others as a dangerous gamble. Supporters, from business leaders to ordinary citizens, are desperate for change and believe the risks can be managed. They point to job creation, economic growth, and improved quality of life as reasons to embrace the deal. Critics warn of debt traps, lost sovereignty, and environmental harm, citing China's actions in the South China Sea as proof of its ambitions. The debate rages in media and online, with both sides using powerful imagery and language to sway public opinion. At its core, this is a debate about the nation's identity and the price of development. The government's challenge is to balance hope with caution, listening to both sides as it charts a path forward. The outcome will shape not just infrastructure, but the soul of the nation. The infrastructure deal can't be separated from the West Philippine Sea dispute. China's claims overlap with Philippine territory, fueling controversy. Critics argue that accepting Chinese loans while Beijing occupies contested waters is a surrender of sovereignty. Economic dependence could silence Manila's protests and weaken its stance on territorial rights. The government tries to separate economic cooperation from the maritime dispute, but many see them as inseparable. Other Southeast Asian nations are watching closely. If the Philippines benefits without losing sovereignty, others may follow. If it falls into a debt trap or makes political concessions, it will serve as a warning. The US and its allies fear China is using economic power to divide ASEAN and undermine regional unity. The Philippines' gamble is a microcosm of the global challenge of engaging with a rising China. The dream of prosperity is powerful, but the risks of debt and lost control are real. The world is watching, as the Philippines' fate may preview the future for many nations in this new era of competition.